What's up, everyone, and welcome to JMD Puzzle, and we are here for the start of the Salvador Dali. I'm excited, very excited to get to this puzzle. It is a 1,000-piece puzzle. Today is March the 16th. It's a Monday. It is cold outside for some reason. I don't know why, because we just had 80-degree weather this whole past week, and now it's like 40, but whatever. We are here to start the Salvador Dali, and again, it's, like I said, excited to do this. This one was one that my mom originally had gotten for herself, and then she decided that she, I guess, just didn't want to take it on, or didn't feel like she would have the time for it. So she gave it to me to do. So we're going to do this one kind of in honor of her, I guess you could say. So, but let's open it up and get started. All right, so we've got them pulled out and in here. I don't know if you could pay attention to see that I like to take my time and or at least trying to pull them out, not just dumping them over, because a lot of times when they come in the boxes, there'll be a lot of dust, debris, and stuff from the boards, from the puzzles, all in the bottom of it, from it being moved around and shaken about and all that, and probably even initially put into there. So a lot of times I like to take them out real carefully and then dump out the dust. Try to keep from there being a whole lot of dust collection up in the pieces, but anyway, so that could be something that you could keep in mind if you are attempting to do one of these yourself. So now what we're going to do, we're going to separate out. We're going to be culling through them, trying to find our edge pieces, because that's what we are working on, is forming out our edge today. All right, so that's what we're about to do. So let's get to it. Found our first corner piece. Looks like we found our second corner piece, and it came with a couple more side pieces. So hey, that's a good start. Third corner piece. Another corner piece. All right, so we've got them separated. That is always probably one of the most tedious and maybe even argumentatively the most annoying part of even doing a puzzle is trying to separate out the outer edges with the regular pieces, or the guts. That took me roughly about 25-30 minutes just to do that, and hopefully I won't have to do it again, because the big thing you always worry about is missing one. One thing I immediately noticed on this puzzle is that this puzzle is basically set up of your own just basic standard old school cuts. There's no odd or weird pieces, no odd shapes. They're all your straight formulaic pieces, which to some degree scares me a little bit, honestly, because that makes this puzzle even harder. Okay, Because usually, you know, what you try to do is, you know, first off, you take the picture, the differences in colors and shapes and objects and things that you can distinguish out in the picture on a piece. But also, it also helps a lot of times if you do have odd shaped pieces in order to try to simplify finding those pieces. Because you can look for distinctive shapes and distinctive like cuts or whatever. But when they are formulaic like this, old school cuts, you really can't go off of that. Fortunately, this puzzle does have a decent amount of color, although some of these darker, straight areas are going to be kind of hard, honestly. It's going to be a lot of tedious, just trying piece after piece after piece to try to find one single piece. The one good thing that I did come across and is absolutely unique to this first initial step for me is something I've never done before, and that is, if you see over here, I have a bunch of pieces that are already sort of put together. They were already laid out in here, kind of stuck together, and I got quite a few of them over here, as a matter of fact. I went ahead and separated those out, as you know, accepting that this is probably going to be a little harder than I wanted it to be. It's 1,000 pieces, so they're small pieces. Again, formulaic cuts. So I'm going to take every advantage I can get out of it. And if it just naturally gives it to me out of the box, then I'm going to accept it. All right, so now we have all 4 corner pieces over here. Even some of our edge pieces had some doubling ups that might, you know, help in some degree. So anyways, we're going to start working on our edge. So let's get to it. This one's going to be the bottom piece, because it has, this one came together and it has the shard pieces like from the broken off from the so they're going to be here. All right, this one's going to be our top. This one's going to be this one up here. And this one clearly is the one down here. All right. So we got our corner pieces situated. So now we got to work out the rest. Okay. All right. What I was doing there was finding the ones with the writing on it. That says, you know, pretty much naming out what the puzzle is and the company and all that. Just trying to get that situated out of the way. All right, let's go. I think we got one complete corner going. Let's keep going. Well, there we go. Finally. Oh my goodness. We got it. We got it done. We got the whole entire edge work done. It some parts were easy, some parts were a little harder. I've if you watching closely, I basically split it up into color zones. All of this area up here that has all the breakage and stuff from the clock. Trying to zone it out. All the light, yellowing and blue, this color out through here. Try to zone that out. Trying to bring out the browns and everything that are over here. The grays, dark and kind of shadowy grays and stuff that were up here. Trying to break them up into areas. Of course, that's originally did the lettering here, and then of course I had the blues from the water, which is really the only blues on it, on the picture. That was able to form out this. I pretty much quickly realized was the clock coming down. So the blacks right through here, all the dark area through here, was rather kind of difficult, but yeah, basically just breaking it up into zones, color zones, and working those out, forming them, putting them in place, working them out, putting them in place. Yeah, not too bad. It took roughly about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that. So yeah, not too bad. So that's going to complete this first episode of the Salvador Dali. Next we will start to work on something. I don't know what yet. I might try to work out some of this up here, the breakage or something. I might start working down here into the browns and blacks. Might even start working some of this cliff area down here in the bottom. Who knows where we're going to go next. But I'll figure that one out, and we'll and be prepared for episode 2 when I get there. But thank you very much for joining me, and hope you enjoyed that. And again, excited to do this puzzle. Might wind up being harder than I really wanted it to, since it is pretty old school formula cuts and stuff. But we're going to do the best we can, and have fun along the way. So thank you very much for joining me. Until next time, peace. JMD Puzzle. I'm out.